Hello, YouTubes. Alright, welcome in, guys. So, I've been playing a lot of Unknown online recently. Well, I say recently, since Unknown's launch, and I've been using basically every single add-on, trying to get as much value of every single one as possible. And I feel like I'm quite confident with ranking every single one of them. So we're going to go from the brown add-ons to the Eerie add-ons. We are not going to be ranking them based on rarity. What I mean by that is, for example, the Blurry photo and the Captured of the Dark are kind of equal in terms of strength, but I'm not going to say this one's stronger just because it's a common add-on and an easier accessible one. So just to let you know before we start, this is fully just based on what it does. Nothing to do with the rarity. Okay, so the first add-on we're rating is Sketch Attempt. I'm gonna put this, I will explain, don't worry. Sketch Attempt, basically, when you hit someone with your UVX, you don't have to injure them or anything, you just have to hit them with it, with the blast mine, or the blast area, and they become oblivious for 20 seconds. I mean, this is kind of nice. It makes them oblivious while you're chasing them. It might make it a little bit more difficult for them to track you. But I think overall it could be worse. It could be a lot better though. I'm gonna put it in C tier for now. Just because there's not much use out of it. Other than, if you're going against some not amazing survivors that are really, not great at tracking you through, especially like walls and stuff like that. So I'm going to put in C tier for now. I think it might be a little bit higher C tier. We can reshuffle them based on other add-ons we put on this list. Next add-on, Foot. So this one, I think, is arguably the worst add-on that Unknown has. This add-on does two things. One of them is completely useless and one of them is extremely mediocre and very situational. The first thing it does is when you're charging your UVX, bloods of pools are brighter. I mean, it's not great. Like, okay, like bloods of pools are very, sorry, not bloods of pools, pools of blood are very easy to see anyway. It's kind of just like a little bloodhound effect, and it's just not great. So this is like a really awful effect alone. But it does do something else. It also makes it so that when you injure survivor with UVX, they suffer from hemorrhage for 30 seconds. Now, I know some people are going to put this maybe a little bit higher just because of that. I'm still going to put it in D tier. I think the reason why I'm going to put it in D tier is because the sheer situation you have to be in for that 30 seconds of hemorrhage to work. You injure them with your UVX. If you still chase them and, still try to commit to them, the hemorrhage doesn't matter because they're not going to be healing mid-chase. But you do leave them, you maybe go for someone else. Then you have to be in a situation where someone else is healing them that is healthy, that it's injured actually, and then you go for them instead. I know lots of people might not understand what I'm saying there, but if you're gonna down the survivor anyway, the hemorrhage doesn't matter in any way, shape or form at all. Because if someone else is healing that survivor, and then you go into them, they start to suffer from hemorrhage, and then you down them again, the hemorrhage didn't matter in the first place. You're gonna down them anyway, even if they didn't have hemorrhage. So it's a bit bad. I know there's another effect of hemorrhage where they bleed a lot more and that complements the blood brighten effect, but I think just in general it's really bad. It's really bad. I don't think it's ever worth using. Let me know if you ever get value out of it, anyone in chat, but I just don't think it's good. Alright, chat, this one's going to be quite interesting, this one. We got the Punctured eyeball. This one, it could be worse. So what it does is the survivor has to be weakened and injured for it to activate. And basically, when they dispel hallucination, they suffer from deep wound. This seems like a really bad add-on to begin with because it's so situational. They have to be injured and weakened and deciding to dispel a hallucination. But if you consider the fact that maybe if someone is going for save and you decide to weaken both of them, maybe the survivor who's just been unhooked has off the record, goes around or goes away, tries to dispel hallucination, maybe gets deep wounded and off the record endurance disactivates. Maybe if you run into again while they're deep wounded and they have dead hard, that's not great either. But then even if you don't run into them having to mend is a pretty decent waste of time. So it's definitely not great. It's definitely not good at all. But there are many situations where it actually has helped me quite a lot. So for that, I'm going to put it in C tier. Maybe the bottom of C tier. I'm not sure just yet. Like maybe mid C tier. Who knows? We'll see. But a change of events. We got the Blurry photo, which if anyone does know what this add-on does, you already know that this is a complete S tier perk. Sorry, an S tier add-on. I need to get my words straight. Yeah, this is an S tier add-on. When you teleport, you usually slow down for like a second or whatever. This halves the time of where you're slowed down. And this is honestly so good. It's one of those add-ons where if you use for quite a few games and then you stop using it, it just feels disgusting. It feels really, really bad. It feels awful. You just don't feel good not running this add-on. Luckily, I personally don't need to use this add-on as like a crutch or anything, but I used to. It's such a good add-on to the point where not running it just feels really, really awful. Is it the best add-on? I don't think so. I'll get to that in a bit, but it is definitely really, really good, and I really do recommend anyone using it. Chat, we move on to the uncommon add-ons, dude. The uncommon add-ons. We do first of all have the victims map, which is very If you were to ask me when I started playing Unknown, I might even put in A tier, but I'm going to put in B tier for now. This add-on makes it so that when you get rid of your weakened, you get revealed by Killer Instinct for, I think it's 3 seconds. And this is quite nice if survivors are trying to be sneaky and like hide around the corner trying to look at you, whatever. But I think there's a lot of situations where it's not super helpful. But the reason why I put in B tier is because a situation where survivors are trying to hide behind a wall and maybe trying to look at you while you're chasing someone else is a lot more common than, for example, the situations I described with these. And on top of that, you can actually use it if you're not very good with tracking, like behind walls and stuff like that. You can use this as a way to track and maybe get them weakened again with your UVX behind a wall. So overall, I think it's pretty decent. Like I said, this was very, very good for me when I was less experienced, but the more experience I get, the less the information helps me. So I'm going to put it in B tier still, purely because as an unknown, you still struggle with if someone is, trying to stare you down from across the map, especially when you're chasing someone else. All right, moving on, we do have the slashed backpack. Instantly, I'm thinking maybe put it around here-ish. What this add-on does is it does two things. The first thing it does is when you hit your hallucination with your UVX, it explodes and does the blast area, which is nice. I mean, it sounds nice on paper, but with the huge amount of games I've tried to, try get value out of this, I just couldn't. In fact, it might even be a hindrance because if there's a hallucination like in the way, like to shoot, then that's even worse. That's actually terrible. But then again, I've not really had a situation where that's happened either. But the kind of redeeming thing about this add-on, which kind of makes me want to put it here, but the reason I might still put it here for one reason, is when you do explode a hallucination, your next hallucination spawns 75% quicker. Your hallucinations spawn once every 45 seconds, assuming no one's weakened. And that will make it so it's like around 10, 12 seconds, give or take. So no, it's pretty like all right. But there's another issue with it. I think this add-on was created to make it so that if you do have a hallucination in a really bad spot, you can just use this add-on to get rid of it and then place another one. But the more you play Unknown, and if you didn't know, you can tap your power to place your hallucinations where you want them. You don't need to replace any hallucinations because usually your hallucinations are going to be in good spots. And if they're not in good spots, then it probably means you're going to have to go all the way to that hallucination to then get rid of it. And it's just too much of a waste of time. I think this is a perfect spot for it. I don't think it's good. I don't think I've ever really had situations where it's been good. In fact, I might even put it like under this add-on because it's just bad, man. Like, I'm sure if you're not very good at where to put, like, you know, your knowledge of where to place hallucinations, it's kind of fine. But no, I just don't think it's good. Next one we have is another one which is going to be a little bit tricky to rank. This is the Notebook of Theories. So this add-on makes it so that if you hit survivors with an airborne UVX, they suffer from hindered for an extra 2 seconds. You suffer from hindered for 3 seconds usually. It's a -6% hinder, which means you lose around, I think it's around 0.7 meters. But this add-on makes it so that you lose around 1.2 meters-ish, which doesn't sound great on paper. There have actually been situations where this has helped me because they have been slower for a little bit longer. I just don't think it's great, and I'll tell you why. Because unless you're in a short loop, which you're going to be in short loops every now and then, so which is why I might agree with Doggo and put it here. But if you're in a longer loop-ish, and they, you know, if they pre-drop the palette, you know, the slowdown isn't really a big deal. The only time I feel like the slowdown might be a good deal is if they're like out in the open. But if they're out in the open, then it's very easy to then dodge the UVX, and therefore you don't suffer from hindered or anything. So I don't think this is great. It's not bad. There have, again, like I said, there have been situations where this add-on has helped me. I am stuck between whether the Oblivious add-on or this add-on's better. I feel like, I'm not sure. I feel like if you're in a lower MMR, maybe this, but I think in, you know, my games, I think it's like that. I think that's fair, right, chat? Yeah, I think that's good. We're going back to the add-ons that I think are really, really trash. We do have the last known recording. I might just put it here. It's really, really not that great. If you don't know what this add-on does, it makes it so that your aura range, or the aura range of hallucinations, is decreased by 25%. This means that instead of you being able to see hallucinations from 8 meters away, and this is a survivor by the way, from 8 meters away, it's now 6 meters away. Chat, it's bad. It's bad. Like, there's not a single situation where like that extra 2 meters like is gonna make it so that survivors just don't see the hallucination. It's really, really bad. Doesn't pair well with other add-ons, but if you do sneaky build, it makes it harder to find hallucinations. But it's only it's -2. It's -2. It's really not that great in my opinion. It's only 2 meters. It goes from 8 meters to 6 meters. So overall, you know, if it was like 8 meters to like 4 meters, maybe I can put it like here or something, or maybe like, I don't know, like probably here, but it's just bad. It's bad. So yeah, I think I'm happy to put it in the bottom of C tier. And speaking of pretty bad, again, we do have the device of Undisclosed Origin. These are some long ass names for for the add-ons. but I am going to put this a little bit higher, This makes it so that you're oblivious when you're in the aura range of hallucinations. So if you're 8 meters away or 8 meters around a hallucination, then you become oblivious. There's no reason to run this add-on when you have this add-on, which makes it so that they're oblivious for 20 seconds when you hit them. There's absolutely no reason. You get more value from that than the sketch, really. I feel like, I don't know. I don't like this one. You gotta also understand that this might even convince players to like put hallucinations in loops a little bit too much, to the point where, you know, if they just run away, then it's not, you know, your hallucination's gonna be kind of useless. Overall, yeah, I don't think it's great. I think I get a lot more value from this than this one. Remember, 20 seconds isn't actually that short. Like, you can quickly, like, hit someone, and then maybe the good thing about this one as well is if you do end up teleporting, like, ahead of them, they might not know because they didn't hear a terror radius change because they can't hear your terror radius. So yeah, I think this is completely fair. I don't think it's a great add-on. It's way too situational, and even if you're in the right situation, it's just not great. At the end of the day, it's an oblivious add-on. It's not going to do insane amount. So yeah, I'm going to put it here. Chat, I'm getting a little bit tired of talking about add-ons that are bad. Let's just talk about some good add-ons. We're going to put this one probably in S tier. It's an extremely, extremely good add-on. This is the Vanishing Box. I didn't make a video about it recently regarding a bug. If a survivor completes a gen, they become weakened. Simple as that. If there's multiple survivors on that gen, they become weakened. Although I said that I want to put an S, but I might put in top of A, and I'll tell you why. With this add-on, for example, you're always gonna get value out of it. Like, even if it's just like a quick little teleport like further away, it just feels nice, dude. It's a very, very nice add-on. This add-on, there is many times where you get value, but if you're against really good survivors, the only time you're gonna get like super good value out of this add-on is if they do the first gen, when they don't know that you have that add-on. As soon as they do the first gen, and this is something that I really hate about this add-on, if a survivor is weakened, their progress of stare down, let's say they've stared you down for like 75% of their weakened, and then you get affected by this add-on, it's still going to be 75. So you can have someone that 99's their weaken and just go ahead and do gens, and next time you go to them, they can instantly get rid of it, and it basically makes this add-on completely useless. But I'm still going to put an A tier because that early pressure of them not knowing you have this add-on is very, very good. And even so, you know, you're making it so that someone has to then go ahead and complete gen. It's a very, very good add-on. I think just because of the fact that, like, there is counterplay to it, I'm going to put it in top of A. Kind of sad that every unknown I go against has this add-on because it's so, like, it's so autopilot, you know, like, you don't have to do anything. And, you know, you get value out of it. It is a bit annoying that sometimes lots of people run this add-on, but it's just because it's good. It's a very, very good add-on. It's also a green add-on, so it's not too rare to get. Very, very good. Really recommend using it if you want to get them EVX downs. Alright, chat, this is an add-on that I think is extremely underrated. In fact, I'm putting it in A tier right now. This is the Hypnotist watch. I might have butchered that pronunciation. Excuse me. But what this add-on does is it makes it so that if you hit a survivor with an airborne UVX, they become exhausted for 10 seconds. This is great. This is honestly so good. Especially if they have Dead Hard, if they have Life. If they have like Sprint Burst or whatever, it's not great. One thing I do want to mention about these kind of add-ons, which make it so that they're affected when they're hit with an airborne thing, is it's so easy to do. You don't even have to think about doing it. All you have to do is just shoot through them, and then they get affected by this add-on. It's very, very good. This is literally just a free, like, fearmonger. It's a very, very free to easy to use perk. Sorry, easy to use add-on that can counter dead art, that can counter life if you use it at the right time, that can counter basically any exhaustion perk, except maybe sprint burst and like, I don't know, background player or something. But it's really good. It's really good. I really recommend using this if you go against a lot of dead odds and lives and stuff like that. It's probably going to be at the bottom of A tier, but, you know, you're relying on survivors using life, dead odd, and stuff like that. In fact, that could maybe make it the top of B tier, but we'll see. But no, very, very good add-on. Alright, chat, this is going to be a bit of a weird one to rank, because this is probably one of the ones I use the least, because I just don't know if I care about it too much. The front page article. This add-on makes it so that your next hallucination spawns 50% quicker when you break a pallet or a breakable wall. So instead of 45 seconds, it'll be like 22.5 seconds. I think the more you play Unknown, the more you realize that you don't need to like have an like, it's obviously nice to have a lot of hallucinations and stuff like that, but you don't need to constantly be spawning them and stuff like that. It's nice to have that little passive, especially if you weaken lots of people. If you're good at weakening people, that's enough. You don't need this essentially. It's still pretty good in my opinion. It's still very, very good, you know, especially if you're like lacking and you just need to quickly get some hallucinations down, quickly kick them. It's pretty nice. But I think part of the reason as to why I don't like this add-on that much is because of the next add-on, which is the footprint cast, which basically makes it so that when you do weaken someone, your hallucination spawn is decreased by 15 seconds. So that's like, well, like 8 seconds less than this one. But I feel like this one you're going to be doing a lot more often. I'm not going to put it in A tier or anything. I'm probably going to put it a bit above this add-on. I'm not a big fan of the add-ons that like make it so that you spawn hallucinations quicker. You know, if again, like I said, if you're weakening people, you're going to spawn them quite quick anyway. So it's all right. If you're going to use one of these add-ons, I do recommend using the footprint cast instead. But do you need to use any of them? Maybe not. All right, chat, the final green add-on, the B movie poster. This add-on makes it so that when you're injured by UVX, you become broken for 30 seconds. At first, reading this, you think it would be like a bit of an add-on, because it's only 30 seconds, like I said, you know, with the hemorrhage thing. But it is quite nice. It does give you more of a reason to go ahead and play a hit and run style, and especially with the fact that when you do injure people with UVX, they get extra weakened, 6 seconds to be precise. So it's kind of nice. It's pretty nice. In fact, I might put it either top of A tier, bottom of A tier, top of B tier. I'm going to put it in bottom of A tier for now. I think it's good. I think it's a very, very good add-on to get a huge amount of pressure, make sure people are injured, you know, at the right time, stuff like that. I like it. I like it. It's not an add-on I use a huge amount, but when I do use it, it's pretty nice to use. Let's get this chat with the very rare add-ons, the purple add-ons. First of all, it is the Serum Vial. This makes it so that when a survivor goes into a hallucination area, they're exhausted for 10 seconds. I mean, it's okay, but it kind of follows the same pattern where it's like you've got this add-on where you can activate the exhaustion so much easier. You know, why are we getting add-ons as, like, you know, you can make them exhausted, but a lot more situational than just another add-on. I think it's so weird that this is the add-on design for like some of the add-ons. Luckily, it's not a huge amount of add-ons, but you know, for these two add-ons, for example, it's just like, it's weird. It's weird. I'm gonna put it bottom of B, I think. Actually, no, I'm gonna put it here, I think. It's definitely better than the hallucination add-ons, but again, it's just like you're relying on it being a situational thing, you know, unless you purposely place a hallucination on a loop. But there are many loops in which you just don't want to place hallucinations, so it's kind of weird. I'm not a big fan of it. In fact, I might put it here. You know, it's more situational, but I feel like the effects of it is a lot is a bit stronger than this map. So yeah, I'm gonna put top of B tier. I think I do agree with you. Chat, we are moving on to the next S tier add-on, in my opinion. Which is called, I actually forgot what it's called. The game cartridge. It's good. It's so good, dude. It basically gives you a 30% increased speed in breaking pallets, damaging generators, breaking walls, vaulting. It is honestly so good, dude. It's very good. Bear in mind, so this add-on lasts 20 seconds. Your cooldown for teleport is 25. So you can literally teleport, get it for 20 seconds, only have 5-second downtime, and then teleport again if you really want to. Very fun, very good, especially with this add-on where, you know, you're going to be a lot more quicker to teleport and stuff like that. It's a very good add-on, and I really do recommend using this in a lot of your builds, especially for builds like Pop or Overcharge or even like Bamboozle. I think the vaulting speed is completely underrated. This add-on makes it so that you're twice as fast as if you had Bamboozle, which is, yeah, it's honestly insane. I really recommend getting this or using this in your games, and let me know how you think of it. Alright, chat, next we got Homemade Mask. This is a bit of a... It's kind of like the perk Knockout in the sense of if you're using it in like a normal lobby, like where, you know, you go against Swift, then it's really not great, you know, because they kind of have comms, you know, they know what's going on. But if you're using this as solo queue, it might as well be like top of S tier. Like, if you don't know what this add-on does, it makes it so that when people dispel hallucinations, they're blind for 60 seconds. Bear in mind, 60 seconds is pretty long. It's very long. So it's actually not that bad. I'm going to put this add-on, I'm going to put it here. I think it's good. Very good in a lot of situations. Unless you're against really coordinated survivors, you're going to get used out of this add-on. It's long when you try and get a hook save. Exactly. You know, obviously you're going to get good survivors that know. But especially, I think the reason as to why I also kind of slightly want to put it up here is because the Unknown's very good for slugging. When it comes to like using knockout or using blindness things, slugging is so good because survivors just don't know. Like, usually when you slug and you teleport away and you start injuring someone, survivors will come in and start healing the down survivor, but this add-on makes it so much more difficult, especially if you pair it with this add-on, which we will talk about later. I think it's decent. I've gotten some pretty nice value of it. I'm gonna put it on top of beta. I'm gonna put it above this add-on. I think it's very underrated. But speaking of underrated, but change underrated to overrated, we got the carton, which oh man. This add-on, like, when you read it on paper, it sounds so good. The milk carton add-on, discarded milk carton, makes it so that your bounce with your UVX, when you hit, like, bounce them on walls and stuff like that, is doubled. Cute. You can hit some nice shots with this add-on, but one, Dogger is completely right. This messes up your brain. Like, especially if you're so used to the way it bounces already, like it just messes with your brain. The fact that it's doubled, it's so ugly. But let's just assume you only use this add-on and you're really used to it. Is it still good? I don't think so. I'll tell you why. Let's say you're in a situation where you're in a loop and there's a survivor. Like you're behind a small little wall and there's a long wall behind them, you know, and they're on the pallet or whatever. A nice thing you can do is bounce it on the wall behind them, and then it bounces onto the pallet, and then that'll make them weakened, or if they're already weakened, injured, whatever. But with this add-on, you can't really do that, or if you can, it's a lot more difficult because it just bounces back to you. I think there's a lot of situations where this add-on actually screws you up. Sure, there are a lot of situations where you can do some really cute shots. I'm not gonna deny that, okay? But there's also a lot of a lot of cute shots that you can't do because of this add-on. I think it's really, really not great, because, and especially like if there's any add-on, if someone ever asks me, hey, I'm like starting to play Unknown, what add-ons do you recommend me not using? It would always be this add-on. It just messes you up so much. Never use this add-on unless you're trying to have fun and do some cool trick shots, but don't get too used to it because it will fuck you up a lot. If you're not trying to win and trying to have fun, run it. But if you're trying to win, well, not even if you're trying to have fun, like you can have fun, like you can do cool trick shots and fun stuff without this add-on. And again, like I said, there's many trick shots you can do. I feel like with this add-on you can't do because the bounce is just too much. I'm not sure, chat. I think this is a really, really bad add-on. I think I'm comfortable putting it. Why don't they just make it brown? Because it's it's kind of unique. You know, the brown add-ons you see are like, they're just number changes. You know, this is quite a unique add-on. It's bad, dude. It's really bad. I'll just put it here. Why not? Fuck it. It's bad. It's bad. But now we're getting into the final add-ons. Finally, dude. And both these add-ons I think are really, really good. One of them being a lot better. But we'll start with this one. It's called the OSS report, or the iridescent OSS report. There's two things that this add-on does. So the first thing is it makes it so that when you teleport, your decoy that you leave behind has a terror radius as well as a red stain. The cool thing about this add-on is that, so first of all, it also makes it so that your decoy stays for like, I think 10 seconds longer. So it stays there for like 15 seconds. So it's pretty good. But two is that you keep your terror radius. So it's quite nice to throw off survivors sometimes. But if it was just that, I might just put it like top mid B tier. Like if it was just that. But there is a part of the add-on that I don't think is talked about enough, and that is that it makes it so that your teleport cooldown is 5 seconds less. So instead of 25 seconds, it's 20 seconds. In my opinion, I think this change alone, this add-on change alone, is pretty nice. It makes it so that your movement is a lot more fluid. You know, you're not gonna have as much situations where you really want to teleport, but you've teleported recently, so therefore you can't. I think it's a nice add-on. I think it's very, very nice. In fact, I'm gonna put it here. Better than the broken add-on. I don't think it's as good as the exhaustion add-on in my opinion. But no, extremely good. Very, very nice. You can run out with game. Oh yeah, you can do that. Because yeah, this is 20 seconds. And then if you make your cooldown 20 seconds, you get infinite of this. Yeah, very, very nice. And the final add-on, my favorite add-on, but arguably the strongest add-on for Unknown, has to be Captured in the Dark, or Captured in the Dark. It's so good, dude. It's such a good add-on. Let me quickly explain. This add-on makes it so that everyone in the trial starts weakened. Makes it so that everyone is weakened already. This is just extremely good on its own. Like, it's so good. If you just consider the fact that obviously you can end chases earlier. But what some people really don't recognize about this add-on is with this add-on, it makes it so that the more, or not just with this add-on, but in general, the more survivors you have weakened, the quicker your hallucination cooldown is in terms of placing them. So at the very start of the game, you can go around the map if you really wanted to and just place all your hallucinations down very, very quickly, like without hesitation. It does have a downside, and granted, this downside is actually like a decent downside, which makes it so that you can only spawn 3 hallucinations instead of 4 max. This does mess up your map pressure a little bit more, but then again, the upside is just so ginormous with being able to, you know, place your hallucinations down straight away, quickly get them down. You know, you can down someone, and then because everyone else is weakened, you can go ahead and quickly slug. And then the people that are going to come for the heal after you're slugging are weakened, so you can put pressure on them as well. It's just such a good add-on, dude. It's so good. If you go against an Unknown with this add-on, be scared. because even if they're not the best unknown, you can tell that they're really wanting to win, because it just makes them so strong, so strong. My favorite combo, when I just want to turn my brain off, is this add-on, which makes it obviously so everyone's weakened at the start, and the add-on where everyone's weakened when they complete a gen, or the people that complete the gen become weakened. It's just free weakened. I made a video about it already. Make sure you go check it out. But this is such a good add-on, dude. But yeah, that is, I believe, it. Do I want to make any changes, chat? Yeah, I think that is a pretty good list. Thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. If anyone does disagree with some of my placements, make sure to drop it down in the comments. And yeah, thanks for watching.